What's poppin' adventurers? This is Max again from Whitcree Media, and today we'll be talking about our game's very own frontliner, developer favorite, and massively charming class, the Warrior. So like in our previous guides, we'll be starting with the pros and cons, but before that, I'd like to ask you guys a favor by hitting that subscribe button for more guides in the future. It would mean so much to this channel's growth, and the team would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's state the pros. So warriors are the most versatile class. You could call it melee, range, crowd control, name it, they have it. Warriors have what it takes to be flexible in the battle and can turn the fight around with their unique kit. Expect to be one of the most in-demand classes during raids. They are literally warriors in PvP. Charging into battle won't be much of a risk compared to the archer, as warriors are blessed with a lot of super armor during their skill animations. They also have a lot of resistances that come in handy, especially with the current PvP meta. Their damage output is nothing to laugh about. Say what you want about their board damage, but the truth is their skill animations are surprisingly fast. Remember that fast skill animations means more damage output. They possess one of the best skills in the game that can literally save your party from an oopsies. Highlander armor basically has two functions: either save the party from a party wipe mechanic or farm for those sweet time and space points. Let's be real here, why not have both, right? Also, picture this out for me. Your guild is charging into battle all jacked up with super armor. I'll let you figure that out in your imagination. Their AoE can sometimes fill the whole damn screen. They might be a melee class, but their axe AoE is nothing to laugh about. Get caught in one of these skills and you will be forced to use emergency escape, leaving you open to their combos. Enough of the pros, let's go to the cons. So first of all, they lack the means to close the gap against ranged classes. Unless you're in a 1v1 map, warriors basically can't do anything else to catch up in a chase besides flash stance. Moonlight Splitter and Punishing Swing can flinch an opponent, but that's only effective if they use their emergency escape. If only they added line drive, then I guess it's a different story. They are one of the slowest when it comes to daily quests. Relying on your skills that obviously have mid-level cooldowns can take a toll in your daily routine. This is one of the biggest problems with melee classes, except for the Slayer, which has the chance to choose between daggers during DQ. Gotta say, that is a lot of pros, but we've got a lot to talk about, so with that being said, let's head over to the sword skills. Heavy Slash is basically the melee version of the archer's twin shot. The low board damage is compensated in terms of animation speed. A great filler skill for starters. Your bread and butter if you're taking the path of a Moonlord, this skill has another purpose, and that's to make daily quest worth your time. At least. It has a decent board damage as well. The diffusion effect makes the Moonlord one of the best DPS classes in the game. Eyedentity basically mixed Evasion Slash and Eclipse with this one. The pull effect is a mechanic that not a lot of people would appreciate, but battle-hardened gladiators understand that this bonus skill effect is a merciful addition to their arsenal. The low cooldown makes this skill spammable, and it's only a matter of time before we see a skillful gladiator topping the PvP boards. Another Moonlord specific skill that can help chase down stragglers in the battlefield. Flash Stance is also one of your core skills during daily quests. The added lift in EX mode can help close the gap in a PvP setting. Consider this as a combination of hacking stance and parry. If your opponent doesn't have full stun or silence resist, then this will be useful in parrying combos, as silence negates the follow-up damage from skills. This will take some time to master, especially in PvP, and will rely on sheer mechanical skill and above average reaction times. Nonetheless, I'm personally excited to fight a skilled gladiator because honestly, it's my favorite warrior subclass. Eyedentity, please show some love for the gladiator. I cannot stress how powerful this skill is in terms of utility when under the attack roll. Half Moon Slash is more than just a wide AoE skill, it also has key debuffs that can either increase your party's damage or lower your enemy's attack. The Moonlord indeed is a well-loved class by Eyedentity ever since its conception. Alright, moving on to chain skills, starting with Rising Slash, which will be one of your core skills until you reach a specific class. This is the third strongest skill in terms of board damage, but will be immediately replaced once you advance to a Moonlord. Gotta say, rest in peace GPUs. Cyclone Slash will inevitably be your go-to skill once you advance to a Moonlord. It's a great PvP skill that will annoyingly lock your opponents if they misuse their emergency escapes. It's a good thing that they only added more hits and increased its damage to a measly 2% just to balance things out with this skill. This is the Gladiator's bread and butter chain skill, as there is no such thing as knockdown resistance. Pair that up with debuffs on both rolls and you might have what you call a trifecta? That was a bad pun. Now try to name a class with 2 diffusion effects. I know, right? As crazy as it sounds, this will likely triple the damage output once you unlock the EX version of this skill. Not gonna complain, it's a wonderful time to be a Moonlord. It's ironic that this skill cannot really finish your barrage of combos. I am hoping that ED will at least add the effect that made this skill a legend in PC, which is additional damage based on missing health. I have no other words for this skill besides absolute madness. Both roles have status ailments, and this is basically your strongest chain skill. Only an idiot would not capitalize on this skill before deciding on which class to take. PvP or PvE, this is a skill that you should invest in. Alright, moving on to axe skills, starting with Stomp. This skill is basically meant for PvP as the board damage is unbelievably small. Even on EX mode, Stomp simply just adds another staggering hit. As cool as this skill might sound in the audio, it's nothing more but a filler skill for beginners. You can, however, play around with threat levels during raids. Not a lot of people pay close attention to threat levels during raids for some reason, so guys, come on, draw threat responsibly. Punishing Swing is just another threat building skill that deals below average damage. The EX version gives it a little justice in PvP though. This skill is interesting in PvP because it has a high armor break property. In short, it staggers your enemies more or less. The added slow is a clear sign that this skill is meant for PvP and nothing else. Flying Swing is made even more powerful with the intersection effect. The raw damage is above average, and the lift effect is a nice finishing touch for the PvP junkies. Contrary to its effect, this skill does not suck. This is one of your strongest normal skills and does not disappoint when it comes to PvP as well. I've been wondering why I don't see this skill often in PvP. This basically has 2 crowd control effects rolled into one with a decent AoE. Up next are the chain skills. So Circle Swing is a must-have chain skill in your slot until you advance to another class. Its fast animation and great board damage is helpful in chaining axe combos. Ring Bombs is an okay-ish starter skill. Kinda disappointed with the low board damage, but its quick animation can make up for it. Now, I've always chuckled at the name of this skill. I didn't know DN had soccer. Anyway, this is nothing more than just a filler skill for your combos, but the damage is better than Ring Bombs. It has a nice debuff as well. The animation is a bit slower compared to Ring Bombs, so when chaining this up, use this last, or at least in the middle of your 5 skill rotation. This is where the mercenary skills get interesting. Although it might take a while for this skill to finish, it does have some decent damage. I'm obliged to say that this skill is a class-specific skill and only worth investing in if you haven't touched Ring Bombs and Soccer Kick combo. Boomerang Crush is a better option to chain. Rolling Attack is a better alternative to Whirlwind as its animation speed is slightly faster. Pair that up with some decent board damage and you have a great chain skill until your class advancement. Boomerang Crush's power comes not only from its raw damage, but from the insanely fast animation. This is a PvP staple and works wonders when used right. Its AoE is usually mistaken to be small, but do not underestimate it. Last but not the least on our skill list is of course the ultimates. So Infinity Edge, if you're a 1v1 junkie, then this ultimate shall keep you interested. An insane and flashy ultimate designed for intimate duels, this skill packs a punch under the defense roll. The only counter for this skill are status ailments like stun, silence, and freeze. You will feel this skill's utility if you're into team PvP or Guild War. The skill range is above average and the board damage is also great. The strong knockup property is a nice finishing touch. The flinching effect of Cyclone Axe is beyond expectations but suffers from a very low board damage for an ultimate. Use this skill in the middle of a team fight and try to rough them up. Analyze the situation first though before going full ham with this skill in battle. However, Gigantic Bomb is also a good alternative to Great Wave and is basically made for PvP. The stun or silence effect is a clear indication that this skill was made for war. Before we move on to the role skills, here is a suggested loadout per niche. With that being said, it's time to start with the role skills. So just like in our last in-depth guide video, we'll be talking about the essential PvE skills only. So starting with the attack actives. Breaking Point is a skill that you should always have in your skill bar, no questions asked, while Fake offers a complement to your defense debuff against enemies. Brave can also be a good alternative to Fake as this generates spirit for your chain skills, and lastly, Highlander Sword that will save you if your party messes up a mechanic, especially in Dark Vein Nest. Onto the attack passive, starting with Power Training for that permanent attack boost, Fury Training for more spirit obtain rate, Slash Training to remove some threats so you can focus on dishing out damage, and lastly, Awaken Edge if you feel like living your life on the edge. It complements your Highlander Sword buff, so hey, that's cool. Moving on to the defense active, starting with Battle Howl, that increases your HP in defense, which sadly does not shine to its full potential in PvP, but works best in raids. Howl Charging, which turns your allies into bloodthirsty Vikings, Relieve to cleanse you from all debuffs, Highlander Armor, which turns all your allies from Vikings into demigods that are too stubborn to die, and Wild Howl for that nasty silence in PvP. It was worth a mention even though it was a PvP skill, because if no one else in the enemy has Cleanse, by all means, charge in. And lastly, let's talk about the defense passive, starting with Health Training for that flat health boost that's perfect for PvE. Mental Training that allows you to generate more spirit, Taunt Training to stack on those threats during raids, Metal Helmet to further enhance your resistance to silence and stun, and Last Stand that gives you more tankiness when hitting below 20% HP. We are now down to the best part of this guide, so guys, again, remember, use all of your normal skills first before casting the first half of your rotation. This rotation is meant for the warrior class only and does not include the class advancements. We'll cover that in another video, alright? Again, you can opt for either sword or axe, both are good, but only one deals the highest damage. After casting all of your normal skills, start the chain combo with Moonblade Dance followed by finishing attack. Start the second half of your rotation with Rising Slash and end it with a low cooldown normal skill and another Moonblade Dance. Moving on to the axe rotation after casting all of your normal skills. Again, start the combo with Soccer Kick combo, follow it up with Circle Swing, and then cast Rolling Attack immediately. Open the combo again with another Soccer Kick combo and edit with another Circle Swing. Before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about class advancements. So the Gladiator is basically the duelist of the 4 subclasses. Its kit consists of unique effects that aren't really appreciated much for now, but as soon as you get to level 100 where you can unlock all of the EX skills, the Gladiator will definitely shine in 1v1. It's only a matter of time indeed. Up next is the developer favorite, the MOONLORD. This class is basically the safest pick and deals the highest damage among the 4 subclasses. The MOONLORD is probably the only class that has 2 diffusion effects, which bolsters its place in DPS to top tier. Expect to be an in-demand class in nest raids. Now we have the Barbarian, who's really sticking to the theme of roughing 'em up. Its wide circular AoE skills makes flinching easier to land, and its quick combos make up for its low damage output. And lastly, the Demolition Man himself boasts a decent amount of damage and is only second to the MOONLORD. The intersection effect from Flying Swing will definitely land this class into an average DPS subclass. Easy to use, quick to master, and a very safe pick in terms of versatility. Now, on to the other essentials, starting with the mount. So obviously, if you're lucky with a dragon or an ideal Mark II, then stick with them. For alternatives, I suggest going for the Red Scar Wildcat, for this has everything that the warrior needs. If you're out of luck, then you might want to consider the safest pick, the Ghost Horse Phantom. For pets, always have the Crown Corgi. If you're on your way there, the Husco is also a good choice as well. If you're a cat person, then you can stick with the Telnomara Kitty or the Blue Short Hair. Moving on to grinding, so it's best if you just fill your stats with critical rate since it's not the warrior's innate stat. You can try to balance it out with crit damage, but again, crit damage is nothing if you lack the crit rate. So the current critical rate cap is an arbitrary 13 to 15k, and the official cap for crit damage as of level 70 is 15,000. For Awakening, I'll be giving you guys a link to my other video that explains everything you need to know about Jade Awakening. Just wait for the end screen and it will pop up. Thank you so much for making it to the end, and I hope this guide helped you out. This is my 3rd in-depth guide series, and man, we've come a long way in terms of editing and the liveliness of my voice. What is up guys, Max here from Media, and I'd like to welcome you to our in-depth archer guide from World of Dragonist. It sounds so disgusting. Anyway, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more guides in the future, and the team hopes you guys are staying safe in your homes right now. Alright? Stay safe everyone. Peace, be nice, and we'll see you next time.